I have always been attracted to visionaries, comedians, and people who make me laugh. I was so attracted to our next guest, I even married him. Yeah, because that's what you do. Please welcome a wonderful, wonderful man, Tom Green.
Hi, Drew. Hi, everybody.
Oh, Tom.
I brought Charlie with me. Hello, Drew. How are you? Nice to see you.
I'm so good. I know you have a new woman in your life.
Yes, this is my new puppy, Charlie, and we're taking off on a van trip, and we're going to travel around the country together, and I'm really looking forward to it. But great to see you, and congratulations on your incredible show. I'm so happy to be here, and was so happy when you invited me on the show. Thank you so much. This is amazing.
A little backstory for anyone is we haven't seen or spoken to each other in far too long.
Thanks for having me here, Drew. And I'm really couldn't be more excited about your new show. It's nice to see you every day on here, just bringing this burst of happiness and energy and optimism to the world right now.
Thank you.
Dick and Mary Jane, my mother and father, they say hello, by the way, and they're really happy that I'm here on the show, and they're happy for you. And we're all really happy for you, actually. We love watching you do amazing things, and we're so excited about your new show.
I've had 2 nights of great sleep in my life before my daughters were born. And I don't know why, but sleep is it's just been like a weird thing for me. And I remember this night just being so content. And I was at your parents' lake house, and I remember hearing all their voices upstairs, and I was just by myself, and I was going to sleep, and I was like, yeah, this is what, safety and contentedness feels before you're going to sleep. And I will never forget that night. And I love your parents, and I really love you, and I celebrate you. And, when you say 20 years, sometimes it's the blink of an eye. And sometimes you're like, oh my God, we've lived so much in these last 20 years. You've had a whole life, and I've had a whole life, and it's just really nice to come together and check in and talk about it. It thrills me to no end, and I think the world of you, and I celebrate you, and I always have, and I always will.
Thank you, Drew. Thank you. This is really, I was so happy when you invited me on the show. It's been too long. We should have, it's nice to reconnect. We really did not talk for about 15 years, I guess. And this is really the first time we've looked at each other face to face in 15 years.
And, one of the things that means so much to me professionally also is because one of the reasons that, we got to know each other in the first place was I admired your work so much. And so I reached out to you and, asked you to come and do Charlie's Angels, and you so graciously said yes.
But that was so exciting, getting to do that movie with you, and, we kind of sort of hit it off right away, pretty much.
Yeah.
We had a lot of laughs together. I think one of our first dates, I think we went and bought lobsters, because we both love animals.
Yeah.
And we both got lobsters.
Yeah.
And we released them into the ocean.
Yeah.
That was what we decided to do.
We did. And you bought me a camera, and I still have it, the Pentax K1000, and you got me started into what would become, 2 decades full of being a real photographer. And you got me into my whole Annie Hall phase of, taking photographs, which is such a beautiful art. And it tracks me back to what you were doing when you did it. There was no technology available. There was no internet. There was no cell phones. There was no social media. And you opened the floodgates of all of it. And you did it in this way where you really messed with people, but it wasn't mean and it wasn't angry. And when you can go that far and push the envelope to that degree.
What you say about not being mean, that was always part of it. I would never want to do something to someone that was actually mean. But if I went out and did something really stupid and they got me mad at me, that was the humor in it for me. So,
I mean, did you start with a camcorder?
I like tech. I'm a geek, right?
Yes.
I like technology. Right? I like technology, and I like cameras and computers and editing, and I'm always playing with the latest technology. So sometimes when you see what the new camera is or the new microphone or the new editing machine that's coming out, you try to think how you're going to do something creative with that. And then we just went out and made this crazy show when we were in our early 20s and just were wild and ridiculous and had a great time. And I remember when MTV picked up the show and moved me down to New York City, how exciting it was. Then I remember you called over to the studio, and that was very cool, very exciting. And then eventually, when I moved to Los Angeles, I met you, and we did Charlie's Angels, and now Travels with Charlie. Maybe it makes sense that the Chad would have a dog named Charlie, right? I'm the Chad.
Yes!
I'm the Chad.
You are the Chad.
I'm the Chad.
It might be the Chad.
I'm the Chad. Good morning, Starfish. Yes.
Good morning, the Chad.